Welcome to the Her Story Circle podcast that brings you the extraordinary tales of everyday women who are changing the world. I'm your host, Gertrude Mache, and I'd like to acknowledge traditional custodians of the land on which we meet today. I also like to pay my respects to elders, past, present, and emerging. Every week, we dive into the lives, challenges, and triumphs of women from all four corners of the globe. We're here to inspire, enlighten, and connect, sharing stories that uplift and empower. So grab a cup of coffee, settle in, and join us as we explore the incredible journeys of women shaping our future. This is Her Story, where every woman's voice matters. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Her Story Circle. This is Gertrude Mache here in beautiful Melbourne, Australia. And today I am graced with the presence of yet another fascinating member of the Her Story tribe. Welcome, welcome, welcome back to the tribe. Please tell everybody your full name, where you're based, and share your story with us today.
Hi, I'm Jeanett Carnas, and I'm actually from Green Valley, Arizona. And I'm going to tell you a story that is very close to home. And let's we begin. My son was bullied for many years, and I didn't know it. Not because I wasn't paying attention, not because I didn't care, but because it didn't look like bullying. As a mother, it's difficult to admit. As an administrator, it's even harder. I knew that teachers, the principal, and even the superintendent. And I believed when something was wrong, I would recognize the signs immediately. I was wrong. On a hot summer day, something caught my attention. The kind of heat where everyone is wearing shorts and short sleeves. My son was wearing long sleeves again. At first, I dismissed it. But after a while, a small detail kept pulling at me. My intuition wouldn't let go. So I asked him, "Is everything okay in school?" He looked at me and said, "Yes, Mom, I'm fine." I wanted to believe him. Every parent wants to believe those words. But the feeling stayed with me. I asked him to take off his shirt. When he did, I froze. Bruises on his chest, on his arms. Some were fading, some were fresh. I remember standing there completely stunned. My heart sank. Tears filled my eyes as I realized my son had been hurting and I didn't see it. And just in front of me, I felt sadness, guilt, heartbreak, all at once. But what became clear in that moment was that this hadn't just happened. It was happening for a long time. So I asked him, "What happened?" His answer is something that I will never forget. "It's just a game." "A game?" "Yes, Mom. A game where they punch you and punch you to see how strong you are." It was happening everywhere. It was happening not only once, it was happening again and again. In the classrooms, during PE, during recess, between classes, in the bathrooms, hidden in plain sight. As he told me what had been happening, I could see his anxiety on his face. His body trembled, his voice shook, and that's when I began to understand something important. We are missing bullying because we're not missing bullying because we don't care. We are missing it because we don't recognize it. We are often looking for the wrong signs. Most people imagine bullying is obvious, visible, aggressive, loud, but the most dangerous bullying hides inside behavior we normalize. It hides in jokes. It hides in games. It hides behind silence. In the child who withdraws, who isolates, who smiles, who says nothing. So when we tell them if they're okay, they tell us, I'm fine, don't worry about it, because silence can be convincing. And that's what makes it so dangerous. For years, I assumed silence meant everything was okay. Now I understand that silence can be a mask for fear, a mask of shame, a mask for pain. And my son wasn't the only one wearing that mask. Every day, children sitting in the classrooms carrying emotional pain that no one can see. They smile, they participate, they appear fine, but inside, they're struggling, they're suffering. The truth is that bullying doesn't always end when childhood ends. Today, my son is 38 years now. That bruise is healed, but his emotional wounds remained. He doesn't want to go back to his hometown. He doesn't want to even see his classmates. He doesn't want to even reconnect with those memories because emotional pain leaves scars. Scars we can't always see. And that's why this conversation matters. Because this talk is not only about bullying, it's about awareness. It's about learning to recognize hidden pain before it becomes lifelong trauma. It's about paying attention to what people are not saying. It's about noticing when behavior changes. It's about creating an environment where children feel safe enough to share their emotions. My idea is simple. We don't miss bullying because we don't care. We're missing it because it doesn't match what we have been taught to look for. And when we learn to recognize the quiet signs, we have the opportunity to save lives. So I want to give you with this thought. The most dangerous bullying is often not the kind we hear. It's the kind hidden behind silence. The quiet child, the withdrawn child, the child who disappears in plain sight, the smile that never reaches their eyes, because silence doesn't protect children. It shapes them, it follows them, and sometimes it leaves scars that last long after childhood ends. The next time a child says, "I'm fine," don't listen for reassurance. Look for what is missing, because silence is not safety. It's where bullying hides.
Wow. I don't have the words to express what's going on in my mind right now, Jeanette. You and your family went through so much.
I can hear you.
You can't hear me? So come out and come back in again.
From my end, is good. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Go out and come in again.
Okay.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
That's
I
very
don't.
interesting. It happened the other day as well. I was interviewing someone and they were on a different screen. When they came back, they couldn't hear me. So
Oh,
it's
really?
we're
Huh.
pre-recording. Yeah, small thing. Okay, so now we'll segue into the Q&A, okay?
Okay.
Jeanette, thank you so much for sharing this incredible story with us today. It's amazing what happens to young children when we're not really paying attention, like you said. Now, as both a mother and an educator, why do you think it's so difficult to recognize what's actually happening?
You know, it's because we are looking for the wrong signs. And like many parents, I thought bullying was obvious, aggressive, that I could see fights, you know, even a call from school
Yeah.
and hear insults. But I realized that bullying can be deceptive, quiet, hidden behind a smile. So my son was protecting me from his pain. At the same time, I was believing that everything was okay. So yeah, it is. We don't recognize it. I work as an educator. I really thought that I would recognize it working at the school district, but I didn't know that my son was actually hurting and inside, and I didn't know it. I
Mm.
I I overlooked those signs.
So
Uh,
your son said repeatedly, "I'm fine." Why do you think so many children use those words when they're actually hurting?
They don't want us, they try to communicate with us, but at the same time, they are so hurting inside. When they say I'm fine, they don't want us to worry about us because they think, oh, my mom is going to worry. She's going to do something really bad, not bad, but to have a reaction if I tell her
Mm,
what is going on. So the words I'm fine, actually, those are really words that we need to look for those signs, what is happening behind I'm fine, because it can turn into something that child has been bullied for many years and we don't recognize it. And those words is something that we need to understand. Okay, if they're saying I'm fine, I always say, if somebody says I'm fine, they're not fine.
they're masking something.
They want to tell you something, but they don't know how. Many of them, they don't know how to express
Mhm.
it. So
So, looking back now, what were the warning signs that you missed? So, besides him wearing these long sleeve shirts in summer, what else
mhm.
do you missed?
That change of behavior, first of all,
Mm,
he became more quieter. He's always been a quiet boy, but he became more quieter. And he, I noticed coming from school, he went to his room and he didn't want to even communicate or say, how was school?
mhm.
Nothing. Totally quiet. So I felt something. My intuition as a mother told me I need to continue asking what is going on because I
Mm,
felt it and his change of behavior was really obvious.
yeah,
And I remember even that time, it was during prom time.
right.
And I said, prom is coming. Are you going? No, I'm not going. You're not going to prom. Is something so important in your life, in high school. No, I'm not going to prom. Now I understand
Yeah,
why he didn't want to go to prom. Because the same classmates that were bullying him, they were going to be at the prom.
yeah, yeah,
So he said, no, I am not going to prom. And so things like that is something big that you can say something is happening that we need to ask what is going on.
pay more attention.
Yes, to pay more attention.
Mm.
Correct.
So, can you describe the moment you realized that the bullying had been happening for years rather than days or weeks? How did that make you feel?
You know, when I go to that moment that he was wearing long sleeves and it was really hot outside,
Mhm,
and I asked him to take off his shirt and I saw, the bruises all over
mm,
his chest and arms, I felt angry, sad, guilt. I
mm,
felt guilty because how can this be possible? Me working at the school district that I knew the principal, the teachers, and even the superintendent, and I didn't know about it.
mm,
So it was for me I was really
yeah,
upset with me that my son has been hurting for I don't know how many months or years
and you weren't aware of
right in
this.
front of me and I didn't see it.
Mm,
So it was something that I will never forget. And it feels like it was yesterday. I don't know. Is I was in shock. I couldn't. say more words. It's something that I couldn't express. And I remember my eyes were with tears, and he was with a lot of anxiety when he was telling me what was going on.
Yeah. So he was actually avoiding letting you know for a
Exactly.
reason.
Mhm. Yeah. So, us as parents, we think that we know everything and we want to protect our children and everything is going well and good, and but we don't know actually what is going on when they're not with us,
Yeah.
especially when they go to the school and they are afraid even to go to school
Mm.
because of that fear, because they know they are going to confront those classmates. They're bullying them. So
Mm.
it is something that we really want to pay attention more and more today, as this was many years ago, and bullying right now is getting worse in our society. Yes,
So,
in
so
our
you
society.
mentioned that bullying often hides behind silence. What are some of the subtle signs that parents and teachers should look out for?
You know, people are playing in during recess, and I remember being a teacher assistant for that elementary. So three little boys, they were playing, but all of a sudden they were not playing and they were in a corner sitting,
Mm.
just watching. And it was hard for me to say, what is going on? So what I noticed was those students, they were bullying them, saying, "You're not good to this game. You're ugly. You cannot belong to us." Things like that. But that kid
Mm.
went, isolated, isolated himself, and
Mm.
not to be part of that game during recess as they were, playing.
Yeah.
That's happening so many times that we need to tell, because it's happening in the classrooms and during lunch in the bathrooms, and like I said, it's hidden in plain sight.
Yeah.
And I want to tell, parents, teachers, school leaders, that they want children to be safe in school. They do want that, but there are challenges. Is that bullying doesn't always fit the image that we always thought bullying is.
Yeah.
So for decades, we thought bullying was something else, and now we have to look for physical aggression, intimidation,
Yeah.
manipulation, exclusion, social media, online is
Yeah.
happening a lot, and harassment as well. So awareness has to evolve. Teachers, parents, leaders, they need, we have another view of bullying, but because for years everything was evolved, more is more technical right now. The phones,
Mm.
the iPhones, the iPads, and all that. We need to actually be aware of that, because that's where a lot of bullying also exists.
Yeah. So all these gadgets that put
Yeah,
it
because it's
children.
yeah, it's like a shield.
Mm.
They're in the computer, on their iPhones, because all kids they have iPhones, even in elementary. Elementary. So
Way too
this
early.
is too early for
Mhm.
them. Instead of playing in the playground, how we did back in the day.
Yeah.
Oh, now society, technology, technology changed in a way that is really easy to bullying exists everywhere. But in
Yeah.
our society, in our classrooms and schools, is something that we need to be in a lookout. And the quiet signs, it can be, like I said before, they feel sometimes humiliated, excluded.
Yeah.
And they say they're playing, they're just playing. But sometimes those playing, is no longer a game.
So what impact did this experience have on your relationship with your son?
The impact, you know, scars can heal. Okay.
Mm.
Emotional wounds can stay for a long time or even forever. So this big impact that we had, it was so much that we need, how can I say it? We need to balance. The truth is that bullying is humiliated. Their self-esteem, they go so down
Yeah.
that even without them knowing that
Mhm.
self-esteem is down, but you
Yeah.
can see it, it's
So,
something that we need to, to be in a lookout, because healing can, over time, can heal. Emotional pain, it can take more time to heal.
yeah.
But if the good news, that's a good news. If we have the support, the understanding, the open communication, recovery is possible.
Mhm.
And today, his experience, my son's experience, is also part of the reason that I advocate strongly about awareness, because I can see a lot of children out there, even if they have their own friends, a
Mhm.
circle of friends. Also, there's bullying there, silent bullying, the quiet child, the
Mhm.
child that disappears in plain sight.
Mm.
Parents,
Yeah.
they don't see that. They're not aware what is happening.
Many parents listening may feel guilty if they discover that they missed signs of suffering. What would you say to them?
You know, don't wait for proof before paying attention to your instincts. Don't
Mm.
wait. If something feels different with a child, with your son, daughter, ask questions. Stay curious. Stay present.
Yeah.
Sometimes the most important conversations begin when we simply create a special space for them to have an open communication. Because sometimes when a child comes from school, moms, I know their work, they come later from work, students are doing homework, but they don't know, you know, what that child is experiencing inside them that
Yeah.
they cannot express to their parents. So parents, they need to create a better environment so they
Mm.
can express and feel safe talking about what is going on with them in school, you know.
So, what surprised you most about the long term effects that bullying had on your son, even decades later?
I'm sorry, what is that, the question?
What surprised you most about the long term effects that bullying had on your son, even decades later?
You know, I finally realized that what happened and my heart was broken and disappointed and angry and sad. His self-esteem, it went so down. He needed to go to therapy for many, many years in order for him to cope with his burden that he had for many, many years. And we need to recognize, because bullying is outdated right now.
Mm.
We need to look for more signs, not the signs that we have been taught to see it.
Yeah.
You know, like me, I thought some bullying was different, and I'm pretty sure a lot of parents, they seem the same way.
Yeah.
And so we need to learn to recognize the different signs of bullying. We know silence; it doesn't look like bullying because it's silent. And make sure if their child is, is over, withdraws himself, stay quiet, even the other way around. They can be smiling, they can be playing, but deep inside of them, actually, they are hurting the most
Yeah.
because they don't want to express what they're feeling to their parents, either because they don't want to worry them, or maybe because they think that he was doing something wrong.
So, what are the three top signs that we're overlooking?
First, the silent signs. We're overlooking the silent signs of bullying. The withdrawal child, the child that stays quiet and who disappears in plain sight, even though we are seeing them, but we know there is something there that they just lose communication completely with their parents. Well, not only the parents, it can be their siblings, grandparents, teachers. So I think that the three signs that we need to be in the lookout is the silence of
Yeah.
bullying. When they isolate, second, very important,
Yeah.
the words I'm fine. You need to make sure that you need to ask what's happening,
Go
what
deep.
is going on. Go deeper from
Mm.
those words I'm fine. And third, don't be afraid to look for answers that maybe you don't want to hear because you are afraid of the answer your child is going to give you or what is going on. Don't be afraid. In the contrary, you have to support them because that's the only way that they can feel safe, because we need to create environments that they can feel safe.
Yeah.
So parents, don't feel afraid. Continue asking. Don't assume that everything is fine.
So, what should parents start doing differently today?
Not to underestimate your child.
Hmm.
You need to be very open about it, because we don't want your child to be isolated, hurting, and while you are working and you don't know what is going on in school. What I tell parents is, don't wait for proof, and because if they dismiss the pain, sometimes adults, they think, okay, they're doing fine. He's not crying.
Yeah.
He's doing his homework. He's going to school. Everything is fine. Don't underestimate that. You have to recognize when harm is there, and what is happening. In a longer time, you need to understand the bullying can have a mask.
Yeah.
And those masks can be, they are so afraid. They are ashamed.
Yeah, the shame is the other thing.
Exactly. There's mask of shame, mask of pain, mask of fear, because a lot of children, when they say, I don't want to go to school, I feel sick. A lot of
And
I feel sick. And what happens? You're not sick. You have to go to school. Mom, but I'm sick. I don't feel I have a fever. Those are the signs that you need to look more deeply, because why he doesn't or she doesn't want to go to school. If she always wanted to go to school, why she doesn't want to go to school? So those are the signs that we need to be in the lookout as well.
So my last question for you is, if every parent listening could take one message from you, what would that be?
Follow your instincts. Follow your instincts. As mothers, we have that instinct that no one has. Just follow it. Even if you don't like what is behind those instincts, you need to follow them. If something feels different in your child, lean in, ask questions, stay curious. And sometimes the most important conversation begins when we simply create a space for them. So that's what this message is. Please do not assume. Do an environment for them that they can feel safe, that they can talk and share their emotions. Because their emotions are very important. Because inside they are struggling, they're suffering. So that's what I want to say to parents. Just don't wait for proof. You find the proof. As parents, we know that way. We know our children. You are the only ones who know your children, how you can talk to them. Not the screaming, not what's happening, no, nothing like that, because it gets worse.
Yeah.
It gets worse. So you have to be calm. Yes. They have to be calm and confront your child. But, I don't know, it can be a favorite movie and say, okay, after the movie, can we talk? Or a safe environment where, I don't know what they like the most, toys, whatever it is, so that they can open, because they need that open communication. Because if they don't have that open communication, they're going to continue suffering. We don't have to give up. We don't have to give up.
Well, thank you so much for coming online and sharing this incredible story with our community. And good luck with all the work that you're doing. I know you're now an advocate against bullying, trying to do more for children in schools based on this experience that you've had. Thank you for your.
Yeah.
And thank you to everybody who tuned in today. Her Story Circle is not just a podcast. We're a social impact movement that brings you the stories and voices of women from all over the world. We share these stories to uplift you, to inspire you, to energize you, but most importantly, to help take you from where you are now to where you're trying to go. So if you are a parent who's a little bit worried about your child's changed behavior, please tune in. Like Jeanett said, trust your intuition when something doesn't feel right. Or if you know a friend, a colleague, somebody else who's struggling with a young child whose behavior has changed, tag them on this video. Share this podcast on your social media so we can reach more parents as well.
Yes.
Back again tomorrow, everybody, with yet another amazing guest. In the meantime, have a fantastic day, morning, or evening, wherever you are in the world. And Jeanette, thank you for the interview.
You're welcome.
Bye for now, everybody.